What is going on with Black women in these high power positions? Fannie Willis, Letitia James, you have the Kim Fox, Marilyn Mosley. She just barely escaped prison. Who else is on that list? I just had another person, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. What is going on? First of all, Black people in these powerful positions, in some type of position of power, position of influence, and you doing everything else except for your job. I got a new playlist called Breaking Jasmine because this bitch doesn't know when to shut her mouth. She talk. She likes to curse. And this is another one. She done dug a hole so goddamn deep, honey. She's living in China. Fannie Willis. And and it's like, you know what? It makes sense that these two, Fannie and Wade, are still together. Why not? Why not? Because y'all only have each other. They can only rely on each other right about now. They're in this together. So why not be together? Continue on with that love affair.
I have had conversations with him since you filed the motion, but they wouldn't be substantive to this. He sent me very nice sermons that have been done. And so,
when did the romantic relationship between the two of you start?
Yeah, so we get into. There's been this effort to say that, okay, these exact dates are at issue, and these exact dates are. I'm getting signaled here.
He's another slickster.
Yeah, take it. You want to go off mic for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Go off mic for a second.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling. Don't stop now.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
He's sneaky, just like her. See, she's a Scorpio, and I don't do that sign shit, especially if I'm dating someone. But in this case, let's do it. She's a Scorpio, October 28th. He's a Pisces, March 18th. That's still Pisces, yes. So they're two water signs, honey. And water signs are sneaky as hell. I can tell you that for a fact. Water signs are sneaky as hell. She's sneaky, he's sneaky. They're both, honestly, they're not sneak so much, they're not even hiding it. And why should you hide it? But my thing is, and a lot of times I hate harping on black, but I can't help it. Because you cannot sit up here and play victim and then want to be a victor. I say that about white people all the time. When they want to do this reverse racism, they're being discriminated against, blah, 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 which they are not. You cannot play the victim. And this is with anybody. You cannot play the victim and want to be the victor at the same time. You got to pick one. You want to be a victim and that's it. You're going to be the victor and that's it. So Fannie, honestly, she has been playing the victim since she got busted. But before that, remember when she walked out in that press conference when she announced that she was going to be heading the Donald Trump Georgia case? Oh, honey, this is just the beginning. This is just a snippet of me going down memory lane. Just a snippet. Because I'm going to be doing more videos leading up to that Georgia Senate hearing that she's going to have to sit in front of, and they're going to film that shit live. I'm going to be doing videos going down memory lane from the beginning when she first took that Trump case. Her and Wade walked out there during that press conference and she thought she was top shit. You couldn't tell her nothing. Oh, they had this in the bag. And I hate to say this, but what made your black ass think that an old, wealthy, well-connected, powerful white man was going to let you beat him? And you could have, if you wasn't so damn arrogant and cocky. But what makes you think an old, white, wealthy, powerful man was going to let you beat him, was going to let you walk off in the sunset? And now look where she's at. And so when we go and we look at black people in these positions of power, especially in Congress, I want to segue into black people in position of influence and power, particularly in Congress. We have a Congressional Black Caucus. They do absolutely nothing for Black America. And I can say that because the purpose of the Congressional Black Caucus is to represent Black issues here in America. The same way you have the Hispanic caucus, the Asian caucus. They even have an LGBTQ caucus. It's called the Equality Caucus, to represent those specific groups' needs, American needs. Congressional Black Caucus does nothing for Black people, but they want to use Black people and Black suffering for their convenience. And this is Representative Ayanna Pressley talking about how Trump cabinet is the whitest cabinet in history.
Happening. The Trump cabinet is on track to be one of the whitest cabinets in modern history. And when the government is given unchecked authority, civil rights are often the first to be sacrificed. Without this amendment, nothing in this bill stops an administration from using its reorganization powers to weaken the enforcement of civil rights and anti-discrimination protections. So I don't know why anyone here would be either deafeningly quiet or be opposed to a guarantee that government cannot support segregation. This bill grants the president and executive departments new powers, and it is essential that we explicitly limit these powers from rolling back civil rights and supporting segregation. Now, listen, I'm somebody who believes, in the power of data. So let me offer some data points here. The Department of Housing at HUD, Trump is firing HUD workers in my district, including those that oversee anti-discrimination work. If we do not pass this amendment, he could try to allow for segregated housing like he did with his real estate properties in New York. Department of Labor, Trump has fired members of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, an independent agency leading to power being concentrated in the Department of Labor. If we do not pass this amendment, we could see the erasure of all progress made for equal employment and equal pay, regardless of race. And finally, the Department of Veterans. The erasure of the contributions of Black veterans is already happening under the Trump administration. Without this amendment, Trump would go further than websites. He will deny Black people care at local VA hospitals throughout the country. So I don't understand why anyone would be opposed to what should be an easy amendment to support, unless you support the efforts of Donald Trump to resegregate this society, which he is clearly on track to do, having just dropped this policy prohibiting contractors from having segregated facilities. Why would such an action be taken if that is not the root and the motivation of his dangerous and draconian actions that seek to take us back?
Well, first of all, I don't know who the hell that was breathing so damn hard into the mic. Second of all, you heard what she said at that last part. President Trump is allowing contractors. Let me rewind it.
Be an easy amendment to support, unless you support the efforts of Donald Trump to resegregate this society, which he is clearly on track to do, having just dropped this policy prohibiting contractors from having segregated facilities.
Prohibiting contractors from having segregated facilities. And I did a show on this last week, Wednesday, on Dinner with the Data. It was a really good show. And that has nothing to do with Black people. It has nothing to do with discriminating against people with their race, with their religion, even with their gender. It has to do with not allowing people who identify as transgender male or woman to go into bathrooms that they assign themselves to. What he's saying is, if I have a company and I don't want to have, and I only want to have 2 facilities for men and women, particularly the bathroom, it is my right to do that. You cannot sue me because I won't allow you, transgender women, to go into the women's bathroom if that's not what I don't want in my company, or a transgender man to go in a men's bathroom. See, the word bathroom is just not in that whole memo, but it is facility. And that is the problem with the Democrats. They do not speak for Black Americans at all. They've been stopped doing that. Their sole purpose is to represent illegals and LGBTQAI plus. And they're trying to wrap this up in a bow of bigotry, racism, and blaming the Trump administration for that. And that is just not the case. That is just not the case. Here's Jasmine Crockett, and she's talking about her focus is not about passing any legislation.
Let's talk first about this session, some of your goals. Is there anything you're trying to pass? How much of it is going on offense? How much of it is going on defense, trying to stop the Republicans?
Trying to pass? No. I should probably be a better politician and tell you, yes, we've got all this amazing legislation that I can absolutely imagine Donald Trump signing into law, and I'm just not gonna lie. I think that right now it is about preserving our basics and getting back some of the norms that make sure that people have food on the table, the norms that make sure that people aren't going through any extra layer of stress when it comes to figuring out education for their kids. So right now, I can tell you that unfortunately, I am not working towards very much that I would consider being the progress train. I am working to make sure that I can minimize the regress train right now. And I think, and I hope that my district appreciates that I am being honest with them.
So her focus is to stop the regress train. Nobody isn't complaining about the Donald Trump administration train except for you and the Democrat Party. The American people, we are the ones that matter, not you. You were elected to represent your district, Americans. Americans are not complaining about no type of regress because there isn't any. There isn't any. So instead of this heifer talking about progress, she's not even talking about progress for Black people. She's focused on the so-called regress. But you know what? She is talking about progress for LGBTQAI plus. She's talking about progress for illegal migrants because she's tried to shame Americans by saying, well, who's going to change the beds when you go vacation at the hotels? Who's going to work the farms because you're sending your kids to college? Every kid is not going to college because Americans can't afford it. They can't afford it. They are the ones looking to work at the hotels, looking to pick oranges that they're getting laid off from because of the illegals. So to admit that you're focused on so-called regress, make-believe regress, a narrative that the Democrat Party is creating for themselves, that says a lot right there. The dangers of this party. Honestly, if the Republicans are smart, not only should they use this against the Democrats, but they need to make sure that they are protecting and helping to enhance Americans' lives better. By doing that, they will keep the Democrats from ever controlling Congress. Forever controlling Congress.
About emergency management, and they don't care about free speech, all of which are harming American people. In fact, I'm gonna skip off real quick because they have tried to come for you, Miss Mayor, and I just want to clarify, you did not work for NPR when those statements were made, did you?
That is correct, Madam
And to
Chair.
be clear, free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. We need to stop playing because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions of anybody else. And the Constitution says Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the
gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time has expired.
About emergency.
Why does she gotta curse every single time? I'm like, and you know what? And this is what we gotta see from her from here on out. We have to see, you are making Marjorie look like a damn Miss America. You making Marjorie Taylor Greene look like she always had class. We don't forget about her, but that was her mission. The Democrat Party is propping up Jasmine Crockett to be the face of Black women and Black people, and of the DNC, which is a problem. Here's another clip.
I put out a statement regarding that.
You didn't apologize.
I put out a statement. Why would I apologize when I put out a statement? My statement was clear.
But you didn't
My
apologize
statement was
for calling him Governor
My
Hot Wheels when
statement
he
was
gets
clear.
around in a wheelchair.
I don't know how that's offensive. I don't understand.
Who have a disability
You need me to repeat this to you.
Right, but why won't you apologize?
I put out a statement.
They didn't have an apology.
So read my statement.
I did read it. It did not have an apology.
Okay, well, I'm done with
You
this.
don't feel bad
I'm done.
about making fun of someone
I'm done with
who
this.
is in a wheelchair, calling him Governor Hot Wheels?
I put out a statement regarding that.
You didn't apologize.
I put out a statement. Why would I apologize?
So her attitude is changing, because I think I do have a clip when she actually not assaulted, but she grabbed a journalist's phone who was filming her as they was walking through the Capitol hallway. She grabbed the phone and knocked it down. And I do believe that person, I think it was Laura Loomer or whatever, they said they do want to press charges. Oh my God. I think I do have that clip. Let me see something here. Let me see if I saved it. Yeah, here we go.
Recently on a Tesla takedown call, calling for violence on the 29th. Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the
Yeah, you see her? Like, why did she have to grab
Recently on a Tesla takedown call, calling for violence on the 29th? Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the
Oh, honey, she put that thing right up. Like, she put her hand up to knock the phone away. But my thing is, why are you upset when somebody put the camera in your face? You love the camera so much. You love to get that close up. And for the love of God, that damn wig weave, she loves to flip it. She loves to do the flip. So when you have an independent journalist yelling or whatever, and got the camera all up there, why are you upset? And you grabbing it to knock it away? Too much that sassy, ignorant, ratchet, ghetto attitude. And I don't like talking about Black women like that. I don't. But she is an exception. Somebody put a comment in my comment section saying, it's a shame that Black women have to tear other Black women down. And let me say this. First of all, these are politicians. They're free game. They are free game. They are politicians. So we could drag them if we want. All right, I see P-Way. Yeah, she is Fanny's daughter. Yes, she is.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.